Welcome back to Review Crew. I'm Bina.
And I'm Gabe. On today's episode, we're going to review Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Laura and Matt are going on the spot to review The King's Man.
And now here's a trailer for Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
I'm scared, Professor Dumbledore.
Everyone is scared of something.
Ridiculous!
Newt, you're up next. That's an unusual one. What Mr. Scamander fears above everything else is...
Having to work in an office, sir.
Go ahead, Newt.
Ridiculous!
Magic blooms only in rare souls. Still, we must skulk in shadows. But the old ways serve us no longer.
You've heard the rumors. Grindelwald had a vision
That he would rise to dominance over the wizarding world.
So you're asking me to help hunt him down?
I can't move against Grindelwald. It has to be you.
In your shoes, I'd probably refuse to.
It's late. Good evening, Newt.
Oh, come on.
You underestimate your talents, Mr. Scamander.
Their arrogance is a key to our victory.
Muggles are not lesser. Not disposable.
You're too good, Newt. You never met a monster you couldn't love.
Traitors!
Mr. Scamander!
Do you think Dumbledore will mourn for you?
Are you a ghost?
No, I'm alive. But I'm an alchemist and therefore immortal.
Oh.
Nicola Flamel.
Jacob Kowalski.
Oh!
Oh, you don't look a day over 375.
Now, Bina, our fans want to know, before we talk about this movie,
Yeah?
which Hogwarts house are you in?
What do you think? What do you think?
Don't take this offensively, but I'm going to say Slytherin.
That is so crazy. I'm a Ravenclaw.
Intelligent.
I'm a Ravenclaw. Yes. Yes.
See, what you don't know is that I am also Ravenclaw.
No. Okay.
And so this is going to be a very wise and intelligent discussion.
Yes, it is.
On a,
Yes, it is.
I'm going to say divisive movie, especially between us. Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. It is the sequel to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
What do you like about this movie? What works for you?
So for sure, there was a lot more action in this movie in comparison to the first Fantastic Beasts. I loved the action. I think just learning the background of Grindelwald a little more, and then getting the connection to him and Dumbledore. I loved seeing that. I think that's why I liked it. I know some people didn't. What are your thoughts?
So I definitely agree with you. This begins with a bunch of action. In fact, our
Yeah.
first scene is a prison break. I'm a sucker for a good prison break.
Yeah.
And so this is Johnny Depp teleporting around a
Yep.
carriage,
Yep.
escaping. So I thought that was really cool. And I also thought, I wasn't aware that this movie was nominated for 2 Oscars, production design and special effects.
Yeah.
It's got amazing production design. This is a globe-trotting film. We're in Paris for a little bit. We're in London. And these feel like lived-in cities.
Yeah.
Another thing, like you said, the special effects, it's awesome. And when you've got magical movies like this, if you don't have those fantastical elements, it's just not going to work.
Exactly.
One other thing I thought this movie did really well is it's a bit long, but it fleshes out a lot of characters. We see new, his battle to he's got to be with the woman he loves, but he's also so deeply connected to these beasts.
Yep.
And we see characters like Jacob and Queenie, Tina, all these people that we loved from the first movie. And we're kind of seeing, especially someone like Jacob, who's this muggle pulled into this magical world.
Yeah.
And we get to see, how is he reacting? And then finally, like you said, Dumbledore and Grindelwald, 2 characters that we've been hearing about in the books. They keep being mentioned. And we're finally seeing it be fleshed out. Now, I know you're a longtime Harry Potter fan, so what does that mean to you?
Yes. I mean, disclaimer. I have not read all the books.
Okay.
I know. I have not read all the books. So, but I have read a lot on the internet. So I know a lot of things that, the normal people who haven't read the books, and things that they wouldn't know. But I read a lot from the internet. So there's that. I think given this depth and actually visualizing and seeing, their relationship, with Grindelwald and Dumbledore, like I loved it. Also, it's nice to just see them in a different light. Like, who were they before Harry Potter? I think just the character development, I think, has been something strong too. I kind of like the twist that they gave Queenie and where she joins Grindelwald. Spoiler alert. But I mean, the movie's been out.
It's been out 4 years ago. Spoiler alerts if you haven't
Spoiler
seen it
alert.
now.
That twist, but it goes along with the character because she wants to be with a muggle, and Grindelwald can make that happen. I like that twist that they gave her. So I'm very much a sucker for storytelling, especially something like Queenie's story. And then just the background between Grindelwald and Dumbledore, you learn that they not grew up, but they met as young boys. And they fostered this relationship that was more than friends.
Yeah.
Right?
More. It's a layered relationship.
Yes. And so what are your thoughts? I know you had other thoughts on just what it could have done better. What could have been done better?
Well, I will say this. When Michael Gambon portrayed Dumbledore in the original series, Dumbledore has the answer to everything. He's got these master plots. That's how he's going to beat Snape, by using the, all the wands and stuff like this. This Jude Law's Dumbledore is a tragic hero. This man has lost some people that he's loved. And he's in this position where he can't fight for what's right because of the mistakes he's made in the past. So now he's in a place that he doesn't want to be in, where he has to take one of his students and use him as a weapon. And so it goes against a lot that we know from Dumbledore. Dumbledore is the one who's usually solving everything. He's always knowing what's about to happen. And so it's this role reversal, and it really allows us to develop that character. I love Jude Law as an actor, and I think he does an excellent job with it. And then Johnny Depp's Grindelwald. It takes a lot to take on a character who's so important to the history of Harry Potter, but he hasn't been portrayed much. And so you both have expectations, but then there's a lot of room to grow in. I think while some aspects of Johnny Depp's performance isn't my favorite thing, I think he comes across as a little bit forgettable on screen.
I agree.
I
agree.
And I'm not mad at the shift to Mads Mikkelsen for The Secret of Dumbledore. I do think that he did a lot to flesh out a character, that was just, it's really important to the history, but we haven't seen taken on much. And so I think there's a certain skill, in writing these characters in a way that makes you appreciate the future movies more, because we then get a deeper feeling for, when he loses James, when he loses Lily, and I think it just makes that more powerful. But like we said, not everything about this movie is good, and so when we get back, we're going to be talking about some not so magical things about the Crimes of Grindelwald.
Same address, new website. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. OTN launched a new website that gives you all the information you need about your student TV station. Information about all of our shows and our programming partners. On the air 24/7, you can watch the OTN live stream on any device. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. And tune your ears into our podcasts. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. Check out the daily program schedule by clicking the link under our shows. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu.
Welcome back. We're discussing Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald, and we're about to get to some things that we didn't quite love about this film.
Yep.
Now, this movie, 2 hours, 13 minutes. This is a long movie, and while there's some character development, I think it's way too long. The pacing isn't very good. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they try to fit a lot into it. I mean, we get introduced to Lita Lestrange, this whole story about her long-lost brother, you know, that is linked to Corvius somehow. And then still getting the background on Grindelwald. Dumbledore comes into the photo, you know, in the picture. He wasn't in the first Fantastic Beasts, so all of just too much.
It's
agree?
too many separate storylines.
Yeah,
that they at the end they try to make into a cohesive whole.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes you have to know that too much is too much. Like, I love Nagina. I think it's really cool that they wanted to kind of do that story about how Voldemort got this snake. But we spend like 10 minutes of this film kind of going into that origin, and we didn't need it. Like, that's something that could have either happened in the first one or the third one, because they're both supposed to have shorter run times than this. And I'm all for taking the time to develop your story, develop your characters, but too much is too much. And I think that's what leads to this movie being, for me, what I would describe as like the ultimate middle of the road movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's got some action, but it's ultimately very forgettable.
Yeah.
It moves our story forward, but nothing feels essential.
Yeah.
Besides one ending scene where they pretty much take Ezra Miller's character and they announce that he's Dumbledore's long-lost brother. Which just smacks you in the face at the end.
And it's like, how does Grindelwald know?
Yeah.
How does he know?
How does he know? And so it's this, I think they imagined it to be like some big, like, everyone was gonna gasp in the theater.
Yeah.
But instead, it feels like they just dropped a bomb and just walked away. It doesn't feel like a satisfying ending, but it doesn't make you want to know more about it.
Yeah.
You just feel unresolved.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for the Secrets of Dumbledore. I think hopefully that's something they fix, but just viewing this movie as a singularity, that was not something I enjoyed. Another issue that I really have with this film is how forgettable Johnny Depp comes across as Grindelwald. And, you know, for a lot of different reasons, he's not going to be in the third one. He was replaced with Mads Mikkelsen. Did you like him in this film? Are you excited to see the change? What are your thoughts on this?
I didn't think he was a good fit to play the role as Grindelwald in the beginning. I think he really tried. He made an effort. He's not what I don't know. He didn't deliver to what I think Grindelwald would be. Also, it's Johnny Depp. Maybe I just can't separate him from his other roles.
Yeah.
He's known as playing these like quirky,
Charismatic.
weird, charismatic,
Yeah.
like extra characters. This was, I don't know. I don't think he was the best person to play this role.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think part of it might be that Jude Law is such a good actor,
Yeah.
and Jude Law kind of just absorbs whatever scene he's in.
Yeah.
But Johnny Depp is the standout actor. I mean, like,
Yeah.
when you're watching Pirates of the Caribbean, you see Jack Sparrow, you're not
Right.
looking away anytime he's on screen.
Right. My attention was not with Grindelwald.
Exactly. Johnny Depp should never be not standing out in a film. And so I don't know if it was J.K. Rowling's writing. I don't know if it's how he chose to perform this character. And there are brief flashes of that Depp charisma that we love. But if you go into this expecting, you know, to be enraptured by Johnny Depp again, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
So whose character were you kind of drawn to? Because for me, it was Lita Lestrange. I think knowing the Lestrange family, she's a little different. We all know who Bellatrix is. She's not Bellatrix. So learning about Lita was very interesting to me. What about you?
There were certain characters who I think were supposed to grab us that just didn't for me. I do agree with you. I think Lita was awesome. I think Zoe Kravitz is she's one of the most talented actors working today. But ultimately, the character that I felt gravitating to most was Newt, and that's kind of that shouldn't be a surprising answer. But in this movie, he isn't the star. Like, this is not The Secrets of Dumbledore, but this is a Dumbledore film.
Yeah.
But we get this really nuanced performance by Eddie Redmayne where he's talking about feeling overshadowed by his brother. And there's these themes that I think if they would have explored them of, you know, these ideas of trauma and how it's passed down, that connect really well with Dumbledore's story.
Yeah.
And if they would have chose to focus on that and mine that archetype through, I think we could have seen some really cool things from Newt's character. But instead, we get him being the same cloistered magizoologist, and I just think that's why this film kind of frustrates me so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've talked about the good, we've talked about the bad. What would you rate Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald out of 10?
6, 7. 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I think this is the most middle of the road film ever.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's just it's just a 5 out of 10. I wish I could say more. I love Johnny Depp, love Eddie Redmayne, but I'm disappointed by this film. I'm still excited for the third one, but they've got a lot to make up to me for. I'll say that.
I'll keep going to the theaters. We both probably will, but
yeah. Yeah, Fantastic Beasts will be back, and we'll be back after this. That's all for this week. If you want to follow more Review Crew content, go to the Review Crew Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as Orange TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube.
Find the Review Q's podcast on Spotify or on our website at orangetvnetwork.syr.edu, where you can also find our blog and more OTN information.
Check out this week's screening, hosted by University Union. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. Also, be sure to check out Friday Night Movie Night on OTN. This week's movies are Cyrano de Bergerac, Royal Wedding, and Superman 3, 4, and 5.
See you next week.